It happened on the coldest night of the year, a night when the world outside was covered in a thin sheet of frost, and the wind howled like something ancient and restless. It was December 14th, just past 11:52 p.m., when Sarah realized something was wrong with her cat Leo. Leo was an orange tabby, warm-hearted, affectionate, the kind of cat who always curled beside her when the temperature dropped. But tonight, he wasn't on the bed. He wasn't even in the bedroom. Instead, he was crouched by the living room radiator, trembling. At first, Sarah thought the cold was making him seek heat. But then she noticed his breathing shallow, quick, tight. His ears were icy. His paws were freezing. And when she touched his nose, it was colder than she had ever felt it. Leo let out a low, fragile meow. Not one of hunger, not one of annoyance, but one of discomfort, pain, maybe even fear. Sarah's heart sank. It was the moment she learned something she and millions of cat owners never realize soon enough. Cats struggle in winter, quietly, silently, invisibly. And most of the time, you don't see the signs until they're begging for help. This story will show you exactly what happened to Leo and how it revealed a harsh truth that changed the way Sarah cared for him forever. And by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to keep your own cat safe, warm, and healthy this winter, in ways most cat parents never think about. Because winter doesn't just test your cat's comfort, it tests their survival. After wrapping Leo in a blanket, Sarah sat beside him. She held him close, feeling the subtle trembles that ran through his body. Slowly, he pressed his face into her hand and let out a tiny, broken purr like he was trying to stay brave. That purr was the first turning point. It wasn't just warmth he needed. It was reassurance. Cats are far more vulnerable to cold than we realize. Their small size, thin extremities, low body mass, and sensitive airways make them susceptible to cold stress, respiratory infections, and joint stiffness. Indoor cats are safer, yes, but indoor homes still drop to temperatures that are dangerous for them, especially at night. And Leo's trembling told Sarah something most owners overlook. A cat that is cold will not always seek warmth. Sometimes it simply shuts down. Over the next few days, Sarah became hyper-aware of the winter changes affecting Leo. She noticed that he slept more. He moved less. His water intake dropped. He hesitated before jumping onto the window ledge he usually loved. And most importantly, she noticed his coat, usually smooth and glossy, looked slightly dull. This was the second revelation. Winter dehydration is real, because cold air is dry air, and indoor heating makes it even drier. Cats lose moisture without realizing it, and because their thirst instinct is weak, they silently dehydrate, leading to urinary problems, kidney strain, and fatigue. Leo's dull coat was not just a grooming issue. It was a warning. So, Sarah made a decision. She was going to learn everything she could about winter cat care, every scientific insight, every veterinarian recommendation, every overlooked detail, and she was going to change the way she cared for Leo forever. And that decision led to the third turning point. Winter isn't just about keeping your cat warm. It's about understanding their biology. Cats are built for warmth. Their normal body temperature sits between 100.5 degrees Fahrenheit and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, slightly higher than ours. This means a room that feels comfortable to a human can feel chilly to a cat. When temperatures drop below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius, cats begin to conserve heat. Below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees Celsius, many cats become uncomfortable. Below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius, hypothermia becomes a real threat. The truth is simple. If you need a sweater, your cat needs protection too. Sarah began to observe the subtle winter signs veterinarians warn about, but most owners never recognize. Leo began curling into tighter balls to sleep. He hesitated before walking onto cold floors. He spent more time by heat sources. His joints seemed stiffer in the mornings. These weren't personality changes. These were biological responses. Winter affects your cat's joints, respiratory system, skin and coat, immune function, friend, water balance, appetite, mood. Cats aren't dramatic creatures. They hide discomfort until it becomes difficult to hide, and winter is one of the seasons where their discomfort speaks loudest if you know how to listen. And soon, Sarah realized something else. Winter doesn't only affect the cat, it affects the home. Cold homes create cold surfaces. Tiles, windows, hardwood floors, all of them drain heat from your cat's body. Drafts slip through cracks. Nighttime temperatures drop lower than daytime ones. Heating systems dry the air, irritate your cat's nose, and create an environment where dehydration happens quietly. So Sarah began making changes. Small ones at first, transformational ones later. She added thick blankets in Leo's favorite spots. She placed a soft bed away from windows and drafts. She elevated his sleeping area to keep him off cold floors. She plugged in a safe, vet-approved heating pad and set it on the lowest setting. Within hours, Leo's trembling disappeared. His breathing steadied. His energy began to return. But the fourth turning point came in the most unexpected way. One morning, Sarah heard a soft sneeze, then another, then a quiet sniffle. Leo stood by the window, watching snow fall outside, but his posture looked heavy. His eyes watered slightly. His ears drooped. It hit her instantly, upper respiratory infection. Winter weakens a cat's immune system. Dry air irritates nasal passages. Cold surfaces stress the body. Dust increases in heated homes. And because cats are small, their bodies lose heat quickly. Cold doesn't just make cats uncomfortable. It makes them sick. So Sarah increased the room's humidity using a small humidifier. She added warm water to Leo's meals to increase hydration. She cleaned his bedding more often. She placed a warm towel over his carrier to create a cozy breathing tent. Within 2 days, his sniffles eased. Winter wasn't going to win this time. But the real emotional shift, the one that truly opened her eyes, happened a week later. Leo began sleeping right beside her chest every night. Not by her feet, not at the foot of the bed, but directly beside her heart. Every morning, he would meow softly, a gentle, affectionate winter meow. A sound cats use when they feel vulnerable and grateful. Because winter doesn't just test their bodies. It tests their emotional world too. Cats feel winter stress. They feel seasonal boredom. They feel longer nights and shorter days. They feel the drop in sunlight. They feel the isolation of cold weather. And sometimes, their meow becomes softer, sadder, more dependent. Not because they're needy, but because they trust you. Sarah realized that winter changed Leo emotionally. He sought closeness, warmth, safety, presence. And she understood something profound. Taking care of a cat in winter isn't just physical. It's emotional. Winter affects a cat's mood. Cats experience seasonal affective behavior, increased anxiety, lower energy, higher clinginess, lower motivation to play but with warmth, routine, affection, and enriched environments, these changes soften. So Sarah began adding small rituals to Leo's winter days. Gentle morning brushing to stimulate circulation, warm indoor playtime to promote movement, cozy afternoons by a sunny window, extra hydration through broth and wet food. And with every act of care, Leo changed. He became brighter, more playful, more expressive, more alive. But winter had one final test. Late one night, during a sudden temperature drop, the power went out. The house plunged into darkness and cold. Leo jolted awake and let out a frightened, trembling meow. His tail tucked under him, his ears pinned back. Sarah reacted instantly. She wrapped him inside her warmest blanket, held him close, and sat in the hallway where the temperature was most stable. Leo pressed his face into her neck, a gesture of trust and fear intertwined. She whispered to him, and he released one shaky purr after another until the storm passed and the lights flickered back on. That night, something changed forever between them. Winter wasn't just something to survive. It was something that deepened their bond. And that's the message I want you to remember. Winter can be dangerous for cats, but it can also be a season of closeness, a season of understanding, a season of protection, a season where your care becomes their lifeline. So here's everything you must do for your cat this winter, just like Sarah did for Leo. First, keep your home warm. Cats need stable, draft-free temperatures. Avoid letting rooms drop below 65 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius. Close unused doors. Seal gaps. Move beds away from windows. Second, hydrate them. Offer wet food. Add warm water or broth. Use cat fountains. Hydration prevents kidney strain, urinary infections, and winter dehydration. Third, protect their paws and joints. Use soft bedding. Avoid cold floors. Give older cats supplements like omega-3 seconds for joint health. Warm their sleeping areas. Fourth, keep the air moist. Indoor heating dries the air, harming your cat's respiratory system. A simple humidifier can prevent countless problems. Fifth, enrich their environment. Play with them. Offer toys, puzzles, vertical spaces, warm sunspots. Winter boredom leads to stress and depression. Sixth, groom more often. Winter coats mat more. Brushing stimulates oils, circulation, and warmth. Seventh, watch for warning signs. Sneezing, lethargy, tremors, cold paws, decreased appetite, dull coat, hiding, excessive sleep, or clinginess. Cats don't complain, they signal softly. And finally, give them your presence, your voice, your warmth, your love. Because winter isn't just cold, it's lonely. And to your cat, you are warmth, you are safety, you are home. So take a moment today to make their winter easier. Give them a warm bed, a humid, cozy home, extra love, extra care, extra attention. Because somewhere right now, a cat is curled into a tight little ball, doing everything it can to stay warm. And now you know exactly how to protect them. And maybe, just maybe, this winter will be the season you and your cat grow closer than ever before. If this story taught you something new, show your cat a little extra warmth today. Their trust in you is deeper than you think, and their comfort is in your hands.